Today I will explain a domain name. I promise to avoid technical language to explain this domain name, because this video aims to explain about domain name for a non-technical person like me or you. So this section actually is part of a digital marketing course. It is a free course in ViBi Buzz. It is a series that we started last year, and this year we will start again, but we think that there are some part that regarding the internet knowledge, we need to make it first as a base to understand digital marketing, especially that we will base the trend after this to a web 3.0. so I feel it is necessary to explain back the basic, the ground of understanding what features and function that we will use in the future. Okay, you can jump straight forward. You don't have to follow because sometimes I'm talking too much. Maybe you can just click the timestamp link below in the description, so you can jump get straightforward the knowledge there. Or in some part you can also speed up the video, maybe to 1.5 or 2 times. Okay, let's start with the audiences first. Who will get benefits from this explanation? So if let's say you are 18 years above, today, so the internet is for you. That's it. Everything, anything that you will do in the future will relate to the internet stuff. So this explanation, it would help if you got your domain name, regardless you don't have, for example, website or email, or you are not planning to do anything on the internet yet, regardless. So still the understanding about domain name, or you purchase domain name today, it is really benefit to you. Now the second audience is a business owner or someone who want to start a business. Domain name is your business identity, so you should keep it, the ownership of your domain name. That's the important, the key, the important part of you should understand why I make this video. And then professional. If for professional, you can get benefit. You can explain to your boss about what is domain name, why you should really see it as important part. And then there are some of domain names, it has a value, especially if we in the future we start about NFT, where actually your domain name has a value. I will explain it later on about a domain name as an asset or as an operation cost, ongoing cost, or as an assets. And then of course the oldies, for example, you're already retired, you're 55 age or above, or 60 years old above. It is a good thing that you I believe most of you already understand about domain name, but sometimes what I met my friends they are not really get. They just thinking, domain name is a website, okay? It is totally different. That's we'll explain later about this. Okay, now we start. What is a domain name? Okay, let's start with what is a domain name exactly. Okay, so wait. Okay, so if you see, this is I already put there, but before that we will open a browser and find the information from, because sometimes on the internet you don't have to pretend that you know everything, right? Actually, you can just browse to get the information. There are a lot of really good information already there since the internet began. So let's try. I have my browser first here. Okay, so let's try to find out what is a domain name. Okay, so from here, I will use my earphone first. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, from here you see, if we look the information from internet, sometimes you just come up with someone to offer the business. That's something, there is no something wrong with that, okay? But yeah, okay, for example, okay, this is here. What is domain name with example? Domain names are used to identify one or more IP addresses. That's what I'm saying. It is quite technical, right? Some maybe you want what IP addresses. So okay, so let's try another one. What is a domain name and why do I need it? Okay, now a domain name is an online address, that's right, that offers a user-friendly way to access a website. Okay, that's not quite right. That's why I want to make this video. It's not always related to the website, actually, about domain name, but that's not only it is not wrong, but it a little bit make misconception about domain name. Okay, and to technical, the IP address is a unique string of numbers and offer other blah blah blah. Okay, it's too technical. Okay, why do I need a domain name? That's from domain name who Bluehost Resource Center is domain name provider. Okay, nah, that's, I think this is a good one. What is domain name in simple terms? That we are looking for, right? A domain name refers to your website address. Wrong. Okay, we close this browser. So you can see you can find the information from internet, but sometimes it is not really give you a clear understanding about what is domain name. Most on the internet you will end up with someone want to sell something. Okay, that's a good thing. I'm here, I'm not to selling you something. Even I'm a web designer and blah blah blah, but I don't want to sell it something. It is really purely that I want to explain for you that you will understand and get the benefit of why you should purchase or why you should have a domain name today. Okay, so I just try to make it in human language to explain this. A domain name is a unique name. It means once it's already approved, no other else can duplicate this exactly the similar. So only you have it through the internet, through the world. Okay. So once you have a domain name such as your name dot domain name extension, then no one on the internet is able to register exactly the same name again. Okay. Now, number 2, a domain name is not always should relate to a website. Okay. So let's say you can buy your own domain name today, but you don't have any website yet. There's nothing wrong with that. The benefit is, for example, no one can create that domain name exactly the same like you, your name, if you already purchased that, so no one can have this exactly the same name. For example, you have a good business idea, you want to sell let's say a coffee, okay, very specific coffee from Jakarta, for example, and then you purchase, if available, jakartacoffee.com. Okay, if you purchase that, and then you own it. So anybody that want to have, for example, the business name internet Jakarta Coffee, they cannot register that name again. They have to use another name. Okay, you get what I mean. Okay, so it is just a registration of your selected name on the internet that be registered through and purchased through a domain name provider. I will explain a little bit later on about domain name provider, because business in internet actually a little bit confusing. You need to understand where you buy something on the internet. Okay, so the process actually is similar like you register your business name. For example, in Australia, you are able to, if you want to be a sole trader, for example, and then as a sole trader, you will have a ABN, Australian Business Name number. That's why you register yourself. It's also possible using your real name. For example, my name, Shahrazad Alamsyah, that's a business name. Or you find other name as long it is unique. So the government will, the place where you register that your business name, their system can validate that your name is available, so you can have it. Okay, so a domain name provider, their duty is make sure that if you start to register your domain name, it is available on the internet. Their system, they should be able to track the whole internet and give you the result that your selected name is available or unavailable. Okay, so yeah, so this is a sample of a domain name. For example, websitedesigning.com, that's a business name, that's my business name. And then, for example, merpatiputih.com.au. So website designing is my name that I registered, plus .com, it is a domain name extension. It was before only few of domain name extension, for example, .com, .org for organization, .net for network, So previously .com means for commercial purpose, but that's all the suggestion. Only you can do it for whatever you want. Okay. And then now today we have a lot of new domain name extension. For example, I have for my name that I'm using as my email monchu.info. So .info is a new domain name extension. I'm not using monchu.info, for example, for a website. I'm just using monchu.info for my email. But I tell you the secret, I'm using Google Mail actually. Yeah, because Google Mail is very good. Okay, but I don't want to promote Google. I don't want to be like a free marketing stuff for Google. So if someone asks me, what is your email? I'm reply as my email is info@monchu.info, which is in the background I'm using Google Mail for that. Okay, so that's the trick. So using Google Mail, there's a very good mail server, reliable. Okay, but I promote my own monchu.info rather than, for example, monchu@gmail.com. Okay, actually I'm using the Gmail for my email. Okay, that's a little brief, so you now understand about domain name is just a registration. It doesn't have to be like a technical. But once you purchase this domain name, okay, you are able to connect that name to a website hosting, to web hosting server, if you want to have a website. Okay, or you can connect this name to a mail server if you want to use that domain as your email address as well. Okay, so or you just keep it by yourself for certain period. Certain period. English not my first language. Okay, sorry if I'm sometimes miss. Okay, so what I just want to say. Okay, so the third one, you can just keep it for a certain period. For example, you are prepared to do something in internet, or you want to have as your email later on. At least you already have that domain name. Okay. Now, okay, that's. I hope you can understand a little bit, and then I will explain how the process to get a domain name. Okay, in the next session. Okay, now this section is important, the important part of the whole story here. So if you still not get it or don't understand, please don't hesitate. You can just put your question in the comments below here. Okay, so what I want to talk actually, who is the owner. So before we go, I explained to you about how to get a domain name, to purchase, what is a domain name provider, something like that. Now before that, I will explain first who is the owner of a domain name, right? Okay, I just already put here. Okay, who is the owner of a domain name? So for example, once you purchase a domain name, that name information is available on the internet. Everybody can view publicly, unless you protect that information as a private. So you are able, if you already purchase a domain name, you are able to protect that, so nobody can see your name, your email address, blah blah blah, your detailed information, right? Okay. Now you can use, so from your browser you can put who.is, like I explained it before. Who, it means a name, domain name. .is is a new extension, so who.is, in short, WHOIS. It is an application that you can straightforward looking for a domain name information, for example. Yeah. So I will open my browser here. Wait. Okay. Oops. Of course, start browsing. Okay. Now, I'm using WHOIS here. Who.is. Let's say I want to looking for my domain name here, ViBi.buzz. Okay. So first, it mentioned that ViBi.buzz is already registered, so nobody can register anymore. So you see, this is .buzz taken, .com also taken, .net actually you can buy, but the price is already unbelievable, $17,250 US. So what it does mean, so someone actually already purchased, already own ViBi.net. So at that moment, as the owner of that domain, the owner want to sell it, as long as you want to buy. Okay, so if you can buy, if you have money, $17,250 US, you can purchase that name. The standard price for that, for example, ViBi.net, if you purchase to the domain name provider, it is only $10 per year. Okay, not 17,000. Okay, so org also taken, and .co available, but it is not really expensive compared to .net. .co you can buy it to the owner, not domain name provider, right? $2,861.20. Why make a cent? Okay, yes. Okay, .io also taken, .app also taken, .live also taken. Okay, now, so like I said before, there are three sections. Domain name, okay, domain name information consists of three parts. First, a registrant details, so your details. So the important here, your email, because your email will be the key to prove that you are the owner. Okay, so if you purchase a domain name, at that section, registrant detail, it should mention your email address. Okay, not your technical person address, not your someone address. Okay, it should be your own email or your main company email address. Okay, your email, your company email address. Okay. Now, the second information is administrative details. Normally, if you are just a sole trader, a small company, registration detail and administrative detail you can just fill in yourself. Your name, your email address, your phone, both the same. But if you're a big company, let's say you have a IT department or financial department, so administrative details may be your finance department, because that's the way that they can have to renew, pay or whatever, regardless related to the money thing. Okay, so that's the second detail. The third details actually is for a technical person. It might be your staff or someone you hire for a certain period, because you don't understand how to connect, for example, how to connect a domain name to a email server, a domain name to a web hosting server, for example. You have to pay someone, right? So the process for that purpose always send email as a validation process. So it is good if technical detail email goes to the technical person, not to your email, unless you understand how to process that. Okay, so normally technical detail should be technical staff, maybe your staff, maybe someone you hire for technical purpose. Okay, back to the browser. So we will see the 3 section there. Okay, so this is the registrar info. It means the domain name provider, the institution that where you purchase that domain. So I purchase my ViBi Buzz domain to enom.com. So this is the domain name provider. Okay, and then we go down. Okay, this is what I'm saying about the 3 part. This is important. Okay, registrant contact information, name. It should, because this is my domain name, so I protect, so nobody can see it actually. But if not protected, the name should be like my name, my organization, my address, my city, okay, my postal code, country, blah blah blah. Now this is the important thing, that your phone and your email should goes to your email and your phone. So this is the proof that you are the owner. So the institution or whatever, someone who want to hijack of that you will always receive any notification email to your email address. Okay, now the second is administrative contact. If you are not a big company, or you are just a sole trader, or just only a hobbyist or whatever, you just want to have a domain name first, so it should be this under administrative contact should be your back. Just copy your own detail there, your name, your organization, address, city, state, postal code, country, etc. And then this is the technical contact information, where, like I mentioned before, it can be someone who help you on the technical details, okay, with their email, or you give this person your your technical email address, for example. Okay, so what I want to say here is you need really to check your, if you already have domain name today, you need to check who.is, enter your domain name in the field, and then check if registrant contact information is your name, your email address, your mobile phone. Okay, and then check as well the administrative contact information. So if both already has your email address there, you are safe. It proves that you are the owner of that domain. Because most of the case, my clients came to me after they had a problem. For example, they want to move their domain name from one provider to other provider, or they want to move their web hosting to another web hosting. Then they realize that they can move it, because you can move your domain name, you can change your web hosting provider, because it always, you should validate first that you are the owner. So the validation process will send a notification to your email as the owner, and then you have to reply. So there a really strict process. After that, you can do whatever you want. Okay, but if you are not mentioned as the owner in that information, it is a nightmare. If you are a company, sometimes you can process it manually. You call the domain name provider, they will ask you to prove a lot, your business registration, there are a lot. The proof that you are purchased, for example, from your finance department, but it is a nightmare to process that. Okay, so make sure if you buy a domain name, you have to buy a domain name by yourself, not by somebody else. Because if you buy by yourself, you understand, you just only put a normal thing, your name, your address, your email address, blah blah blah, something like that. Or after you watch my video like this, you can ask someone, but after that you can check the WHOIS and then tell him, okay, the registrant should be my name, blah blah blah, email should be mine, the administrative information also the same, the email address should goes to my email, or yeah. So you can ask, so you don't have to do if you don't want to do by yourself. Okay, so I think yeah, that's the thing about the owner of a domain name. It is important part. So make sure if you purchase, once again, if you purchase, make sure that you are the owner of your domain name. Okay, now the next step will be I will explain to you about where to buy it. Okay, we have a domain name provider, so I will explain a little bit so you get the understanding about where and how to buy a domain name. Okay, now before we continue to, it's quite boring stuff, to explain who actually manages the domain names, where to buy, and then how to move, what is the the key that you really have to understand what you own, something like that. Okay, but before that, I just want to explain something that's really more interesting, and then you get the idea. It's just recently I had a lot of discussion trying to explain about blockchain technology, the crypto technology to my friends, for example. Well, because we in ViBi Buzz, we have a plan that we will do the webinar to explain about the blockchains, Web 3.0, the blockchain, the crypto model, something like that. Okay, but I found that it is not easy to, it's quite big knowledge there, and also require a good understanding about the internet technology first. That's why it is good that I do this domain name first. Okay, now here I will explain about, because if I am trying to explain for example Bitcoin to my friends, most of them mix up between the businesses who are utilize crypto platform to do their business. The problem is because the name itself. That's why, okay, we will, as a study case, I will explain this. Okay, let's go to the next screen. Okay, ownership study case. Okay, the question between a domain name bitcoin.org versus bitcoin.com. The question is, do they have the same owner? Is it the same entity or not? The answer is no. Big no. Okay, this is where the problem lies at. If you see bitcoin.org and bitcoin.com use the same name, Bitcoin, so the unique domain name should be, you look as a whole, not only a part of a phrase. Okay, so you have to see as the whole. Bitcoin.org, it is not, the owner is not the same with bitcoin.com, unless, for example, before the owner of bitcoin.org, it means Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin, he also purchased at that time bitcoin.com, but the reality it is not. So lucky for the business doing this bitcoin.com, they can register their business as bitcoin.com. Therefore, there are a lot of people out there cannot differentiate this. They are thinking Bitcoin is whatever services provided by bitcoin.com. Okay, so bitcoin.org, actually this is the cryptocurrency platform. Okay, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system founded by Satoshi Nakamoto, at the moment managed by some developers around the world. Open source community, open source developer manage that platform. Okay, on the other side, bitcoin.com is a business website owned by a company named Saint Bits LLS. LLS is like a company name in US that provides cryptocurrency services. You can buy crypto there. There are a lot. Okay, we will open I will open very quick the website so you can see the different. Okay, we go to bitcoin.org here. We use cookies. Okay, this is the real Bitcoin website where founded by Satoshi before. Okay, you can go through. This is what is Bitcoin, blah 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 blah, and then you also can find, for example, the resources, documentation about this platform, or if you are a developer, you want to do the, for example, you want to contribute, and there are learning resources as well to more understand about what is Bitcoin, blah blah blah, and how to mining, how to get the Bitcoin from mining if you don't want to purchase it, something like that. And then here also another that where you want to download if you want to have your own wallet. Okay, now you can see the, for example, what I want to look at is what they are doing. Actually, they are doing create software developed by open source community, and then every time they update the core, the application there, where the application we can open it on the, you see, this is 0.21 release, this is the new one, 2020 number, versioning number. Okay, and then I just want to show you. Okay, just a quick, I just want to make sure that you understand what I meant. This is the software that everybody can see what happened in this software. Just take a look. You don't have to understand. I just want to make sure, for example, how actually you can read the function. It is on C. You see, that's the code inside. Okay, as if of course you don't understand it, but any programmer around the world can see it, can understand what happened, the function inside the software. Okay, now wait, who does this actually? If you see the wait, where I can get it, this is Bitcoin, and then I will okay, the contributors. Okay, this is, there are around 860 developers around the world to help to contribute to fix time by time the whole software, so it always updated to the platform. Okay, so you can see who, for example, this is the name of each. Mostly they use aliasing name, not a real name, aliasing name. This is this man, Marco Falk, help create some fix or whatever function a little bit, 2130 fix or development there. Okay, and he is active from 2016 up to now until today, 2022. Okay, So also the same like this man is active until 2022, and if you goes down, you will see not all actually active on. This is just new, started at 2019, and then for example this Morcos, he just already stopped. He just from this year up to, okay, that's a real Bitcoin platform. So if I'm talking about crypto platform, this is the platform, bitcoin.org. Okay, now if we open bitcoin.com, okay, now you see the domain name is bitcoin.com, and then who are they? Okay, we can go to about, just okay, what he is doing. You can also download the wallet there, similar like bitcoin.org. You can download the wallet because it's open source. It is the same platform anyway, but they are more like a businessman that doing stuff. So they create their own business model on top of bitcoin.org platform. Let's say something like that. Okay, a little bit confused, right? Yep. So if you want to know who are they, you can click here, company. I can click that. Okay, about, let's say just down there. Okay, this is the company, Saint Bits LLC, and then about. Okay, this is the team, the company owner, Dennis Jarvis, the CEO, Corbin Fraser, blah blah blah, and then there's the team here. So there's nothing to do with like the developer Bitcoin org here. Okay, you got the idea. Bitcoin.org is open source community, open source platform. You can contribute, you can download it, you can use it for another purpose, or you can develop on top of that for your own business model. So bitcoin.org and bitcoin.com is a different owner. If you are talking about the domain name, it's a different ownership. Okay, so from here, I hope you already understand a little bit about in internet. It is not easy to explain how the business model running. That's why I'm explaining this first, because in the next screen I will explain about who manages the domain name. That's a simple thing. Okay, after you buy it, who manages that domain names? Okay, we will go there. Okay, in this section I will explain a little bit, hopefully very quick, about a domain name process. Who manages the domain name? It is a boring thing. You can actually, if you want more details, you can just search from internet, but I will explain to you some part, the important part, so as a non-technical person, you at least you get the idea. Okay, now let's get rid first of this. Okay, now next. Okay, who manages the domain names? There are 4 layers. On top layers is ICANN, ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. It is a non-profit organization that helps to coordinate the domain name system. In short, DNS, domain name system or domain name server. Okay, that's the top layer. This body also govern the rules and then do the accreditation for the business that who want to sell domain names. Okay, and then below that, there's also an entity body, domain name registry. This body actually maintain the record of domain name registrants and DNS settings. So it is quite technical, right? But this body, they just doing to maintain the record of domain name, so to make sure there is no duplicate on the internet. Okay, and then below that, a business that action as a domain name provider or domain name registrars. Okay, so it should be accredited by the domain name registry and ICANN, and then you as a buyer. Okay, now domain name register is a domain name provider, a business. They will put the price there. So normally, let's say you are a business, you want to sell a domain name, you have to create you submitted a proposal to domain name registry and ICANN. There's rules, requirements that you have to follow. Once you approve, they will approve, and you will become accredited registrar. Okay, so that's you as the third level, let's say. But in internet, that's a unique in internet. That's why I try to explain to don't make you confused. Okay, what we cannot do offline actually. Let's say if I'm a restaurant, okay, it is rare that I also selling kitchenware, for example. If I'm doing restaurant business offline, I also only focus on my restaurant, right? Okay, but not the case on the internet. Okay, sometimes a domain name provider, okay, who's selling domain names, they're also selling web hosting space in internet. They're also selling any others part, for example, like email or cloud server. Okay, but their main business actually domain name provider. Okay, but this domain name provider also can have their own reseller, a company. Mostly a web hosting provider is a reseller from domain name provider. Now that's become more confused. Why? Because a web hosting provider, where the main service is selling a hosting space, also now selling a domain name. Okay, you got it at this point. Okay, now why some buyer actually because you don't understand about the technicality, right? So most of the marketing, something like that, even complete instant, you got a website in a minute, free domain name, free hosting in first year, for example. Okay, no, mostly they just free domain name. Okay, not web hosting. Web hosting, they just press it to the lower price, and then they provide instant website. Okay, so as a non-technical, you just register there, you got your website, you got your domain, blah blah blah, That's it. You don't think too much about it, okay? Because now, in most cases, once this is my experience with my clients, once they grow, for example, they grow their business, they want to add some function, they cannot use this instant, let's say, service anymore, because mostly the instant service only rigid to certain type of application, okay? It's not really it's just a limited function, but it is not allow you to change to develop further to fit your requirement, right? And then there you understand it is not easy to move. Why? Because you don't know how to move your domain name. You don't know how to move to web hosting provider. For example, you want to move from web hosting provider to the cloud server. You don't know how to do that. And then the other problem, the guy that you asked before, the developer, they are gone somewhere. You try to contact them through email, no response. Okay, and that case come to me and then said, I want to move my from here to here, and I'm asking, and then what is your domain name access? We don't know. What is your web hosting access? We don't know. You only know the access of how to edit your web pages, for example, and then become a nightmare. Okay, so in short, this is important. Buy a domain name through the first level of domain name registrar, domain name provider. For example, in US, you have GoDaddy, or you have Enum, like I am using Enum, and then there are a lot. You can see, as long as mentioned accredited by accredited registrar, that's okay. Okay, you don't have to mix between domain name and your website provider. It is totally different. Okay, make sure you purchase a domain name, you have the access, okay, and then you will have a specific token number. Okay, so every time you want to move to do anything related to your domain name or hosting or cloud, the system always asks your email address first, and then the token number, specific number. Okay, I will because there are a term there, I will show you the term there. Okay, here, to get your domain name transfer or any whatever, you need the token unique ID number that you can get from your domain name provider, because you have the access there. So the term, so okay, this is the step. Okay, so you purchase your domain name. Okay, you have an account right there, and then you can request. There's a button, should be a button there where you can get the token. So the token, most they call it as EPP. Okay, so EPP code. So EPP code that you get from your domain name provider. Okay, never tell everyone else about this. This is because your email, sorry, your email email address and the token unique is proof that you own that domain name. Okay, or like here, and then you can also generate a new code number. Okay, if you are thinking, oh, it's already leaked somewhere, you are okay, you can generate a new. So it is always a unique number. Okay, what else I want to explain? I think it's already because it's a little bit technical, right? Once you have your own domain names, you purchase that to a domain name provider, like I said, and then after that, you are able to use it as your website addresses. Okay, your website, your email address as well, or any, for example, if you want to purchase the cloud, it's also similar like web hosting. You can assign your domain name to a cloud provider. For that, maybe you need a technical person to help you, but at least you have something knowledge about what you have to understand. You need to understand about the domain name process. That's it. Okay, the rest give the technical person to do that for you. Okay, you can, if you want, you can also do by yourself, learn from internet, for example, how to connect my domain name to a mail server or to a Google mail server, or how to connect my domain name to a web hosting provider. You can do by yourself. You can read it from YouTube. You can read it just from any. They provide you more detail, or just pay someone to help you. In the last section, I just want to explain to you very quick, what do you need to prepare while you design your domain name phrase. Okay, so in this section, there are 3 items here. First, I want to explain first which one is right, the domain name. So if you purchase, for example, you are a small company, you purchase a domain name, which one is true? Is it a cost, or is it an asset with dollar value? Because the internet thing is quite new. Sometimes if you learn from the formal at the uni or something like that, they still not adopt yet this internet technology. Okay, for example, why Facebook bought a WhatsApp software is very expensive, because not only that software as an asset value with a dollar value, also its a domain name itself has a dollar value in it. So I will explain it later. And then how to select a domain name for SEO purpose. SEO stands for search engine optimization process. This is to give you the idea. Everything related to the internet, it always related to how the search engine algorithm find your website based on the keywords phrase. That's why it is important always relate to any name. For example, your domain name or your title content or inside your content is always at least related to the trending keywords on the internet. Okay, And then after that, once you purchase your domain name, let's say you have decided already your domain names, the name of your domain names, okay, the name of, okay, it's quite confusing, isn't it? Okay, and then you also able to check is your domain name actually has a value on the internet. Okay, now we start with the first thing first. Remember in the previous one, I told you about while you want to check in the WHOIS, the ViBi Buzz, you will see ViBi.net. If you want to buy, it is available, but you have to buy very, very expensive. It is around 17,000 US dollar. You have to buy it first from the owner. Once you buy it actually, and then after that you can renew it with normal rate, let's say $10 per year. So $17,000 actually it is to pay to transfer the ownership of ViBi.net from the previous owner to you. Let's say if you want to buy the ViBi.net. So, okay, so the name is depend how you design the name. For example, let's say I will open once again the bitcoin.com. We will see how much their domain actually, the value of their domain. Okay, where is my Firefox? Here. Okay, okay, we will see the WHOIS back. Who.is. Let's pretend I want to buy. I don't know that Bitcoin or Bitcoin.com is already taken, for example. Pretend that I want to buy Bitcoin.com. Of course, we cannot buy it because it's already taken. And then, okay, luckily the name Bitcoin is already taken for any extension. .com, .net already taken, .org, .co, .io already taken, .app already taken, and also .live already taken. So, and nobody also try to sell it. Okay, so it's already run by individual or company that really don't want to sell. For example, it is like Bitcoin.net or Bitcoin.io or Bitcoin.live is already taken by any other organization that they don't want to sell it. Okay, now, but we can track the value. How much, the value of Bitcoin.com domain name. Okay, this is, if you see from here, okay, in 2018, the domain name crypto.com was bought for 10 million US dollar. So from here you get the idea. If you, let's say you create a domain name, the phrase, right? If that domain name phrase meaning something, it might has the value. That's why, for example, Bitcoin.com, they are using bitcoin.com, they are not using their company name for their business, right? Okay, so this is, you see, domain name Bitcoin briefly goes on sale for 100 million. Yes, they also tried to sell it, but I believe, I am not sure, because nowadays there are some crazy businessmen, they can just buy it for 100 million. Who knows, right? Okay, now there's another one. If not bitcoin.com, if you want to the cheaper but still has the value, bitcoin.tv is still available for $350,000. Okay, so you got the idea. So if you do start your own business, you need a domain name for your website, right? Okay, to have the value, you really think hard to make your domain name meaning something. Okay, so once, let's say, you want to invite a new partner to your business, you can value your company, your business. For example, your domain name has its own value. Okay, but you have to prove it, because you can use, there is website that you can check how much your domain name price approximately value. Okay, not the exact, it based on a lot of algorithm. Is it a keyword, a popular keywords or not, how many traffic, something like that. But you can prove it, at least you can value your domain name. Okay, so that's the important thing. So back to here, unbelievable, right? Okay, GoDaddy removes listing that show Bitcoin for sale. So it was before that bitcoin.com is for sale at GoDaddy. Crazy. Sorry, in 2018, the owner of crypto.com domain name reportedly acquired for 12 million. Okay, that's funny. Okay, now how to check your domain name value. So we can use how is your domain name? Okay, how much is your domain worth? So we want to find. GoDaddy, it has a free appraisal tool. We can try it here. Okay, now for example, I want to know how much my ViBi.Buzz only. Okay, we already know ViBi.net worth it around 17,000. Okay, so let's say I decided I want to sell my ViBi.Buzz. How much the transfer fee? Okay, so the ViBi Buzz, because you know ViBi, it has no meaning actually. It is just a word that not really a keyword for someone to type in. Okay, so the value less than $100. Okay, so if I want to sell it, no one can want to buy it for $1,000, for example. Okay, so it is not worth it to sell. So in this case, ViBi.Buzz, if you calculate in your finance system, it is a cost. monthly cost or yearly cost, because you have to renew every year. So the cost of this domain name is operation cost. Okay, it is not an asset. Okay, now let's check my other domain, website designing. I believe it is different because website designing is a little bit popular in internet. Someone will always find website designing as a key phrase. So let's take a look. Website designing.com. Okay, go value. Now you can see the difference between ViBi.Buzz and websitedesigning.com. Let's say I want to sell my domain websitedesigning.com. At least here the system, the application here in GoDaddy valued my domain name around $5,000 US. Okay, so it's free for me to sell it, let's say 5,000 or 4,000 or 6,000. It's up to me, right? And then because if someone really want to have that domain name because it's really in line with their business, sometimes they willing to pay more. Sometimes I got an offer that's, let's say they want to pay around 8,000, 10,000 only to transfer the domain name, right? As long as the name is really fit. So in this case, websitedesigning.com, we can put it as an asset, not a cost anymore. Okay, you get the idea? So if you have a domain name like a ViBi.Buzz, it is a cost, operation cost. You have to renew every year, right? For websitedesigning.com, the cost only the cost that you have to renew it every year. Similar, for example, $10 per year. But instead of cost, this domain name has a value. Let's say 5,000 minus operation cost. So every year, the value $4,990 US, something like that. Okay, so that's the difference. So back to the explanation here. That's why if you want to have your own domain name, always think a keyword, okay, that relate to your business. It is not necessarily always the similar thing, the similar exactly with your business name or any company name or whatever that you are, or you like a brand to create your own brand. Okay, because sometimes a brand name is also a good one to pick, but it will not become an asset. For example, why we choose ViBi.Buzz, because ViBi is really good as a brand name. It is easy to remember, okay, and easy to pronounce. Okay, websitedesigning.com on the other side is not really quite easy, because it may be mistypo. For example, someone will also can website design.com only, or website designing.com. So there are a lot of variable there. Okay, but it has a value. Okay, so yeah, so that's the whole thing that I want to explain everything around this domain name. Hopefully you get the idea. So if you like it, you can please subscribe, click the like button, and if you have any question, just put it on the comment below. See you on the other video from ViBi Buzz. Greeting from ViBi Buzz.